Guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Bird Brain Podcast and happy holidays. It's winding down into the new year. It's like literally a couple of days until the new year, and it's been a quick year, crazy year. But all in all, we're ending the year on a good foot. And like I said, I've just been having a marathon of moments with very special, impactful, influential people in my life and just in the world. And today is no different. And I'm super excited to be talking to this woman on this podcast and sharing her with you guys because she's been a very monumental person in my life and just my growth and just a lovely mirror in terms of like, who I am and who I work to be. And, I always talk about, people in your life are either mirrors or windows. Either they help you see past them because they're very transparent or they reflect back who you truly are. And it's great because she's done both in the best way possible. So I'll be sharing her with you guys today. So get ready and be grateful. If you like what you listen to on a podcast, head on over to Bird Brain Podcast on iTunes. Comment, subscribe, rate, review goes a long way. If you want to become a supporter, head on over to patreon.com/the Bird Brain Podcast and become a patron. Different tiers, different rewards. And I'm just looking to level that thing up because I want to find ways to kind of connect with you guys more or just do the thing, whatever that is. I want to do more of it. And you could also get Bird Brain merch, the Bird Brain Podcast store. All of those links are in the bio. And yeah, in a second, you get to tune in to this conversation that I'm having with this lovely, 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 lovely woman. So yeah, stay tuned, guys.
Rise above it all. Stay elevated. And create that infinity of your you. Of your you.
Guys, what's going on? Happy holidays, happy day. How are you? How's your heart? How's your headspace? How's all that? It's been a crazy time for me. I think more mental than in the external world for me. It's just like, and I think this happens with everybody. Is kind of like the process of just checks and balances. Looking at the beginning of the year and the end of the year and everything in between. So it's always an interesting time, for me personally, a lot of goals that I wanted to accomplish this year, which I think I did indirectly, or I accomplished more than I thought I would have. And so many things I have set forth for the new year. But one thing I always appreciate is who I have throughout my journey. And anytime I think you could walk into another year with people around you that just give you life and just really impact you in the best way possible. The fact that, the relationship is still there or they're still present or you're still present and you guys still get to share that space is a great, great, great thing. And today is no different. This woman, she's been another mom to me. And I think it's been a decade now, but like just a great human for me. And just always like a breath of fresh air whenever we talk. And she likes to bake like me. And very kindred spirit, but also very serendipitous connection that has carried through the years and very important to me. So without further ado, Mama Morgan, what's up?
Hey.
How are you?
Not a whole lot, Isaiah. Keeping things quiet, low-key.
Yeah.
I keep promising myself that I will cut back on my baking, but I haven't been able to do that yet.
Yeah, screw that.
Well, this weekend was a bread weekend.
A bread? Okay.
I did two multigrains yesterday, and since I promised Sasha Italian bread, I made 2 Italian breads today. That's it, though.
That's it.
I'm
That's
off the rest of
no more bacon. That's it.
Only
That's
Right.
awesome.
But, yeah, I'll probably have to bake something tomorrow because my desserts are running low. I need my cookies.
I made cookies too. What kind of cookies did you make though?
Oh, I make all kinds of cookies. Well, I still have some of my almond crescent cookies, which is what I make every year and give away as the little Christmas gifts to friends and neighbors.
Uh-huh.
And I made, I probably should throw it out by now because it's been sitting, although in a sealed container for about 2 weeks. I call them the Chinese marble cookies.
Uh-huh.
You know, that you can get in the bakery, like with a little chocolate dot in the center.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, I found a recipe that was fairly close.
Mm-hmm.
So just have a few left. But as I said, I think I may have to toss them. I think it's like over 2 weeks it's time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, there is my old standby that is almost always in the cookie jar, which is the almond biscottes.
Of course.
And,
Of course.
Yes. Yeah, but I give a lot away, so I run low very quickly.
See, but that's sweet.
Yeah,
I think it's like, you're doing the work, and it's something that other people appreciate. So guys, I'll give you a little bit backstory of how Morgan and I came to be. So how many years it's been 10 years, no? Or creeping?
I'm trying to think. Yes, it has been 12. We're here 8 years, and it was 2 years before we moved here.
Wow.
So it's over 10 years, yeah.
Okay, so when I was working at Apple, this is how well, did it start before that? Did Harvey bring in some of your goods? Did he bring he brought me some baked goods first? Is that how it started?
No, he might have.
Uh-huh.
I don't know because when you two started to have conversations and get around with one another,
Yeah.
after he was already working there. It's possible.
Yeah.
I also was thinking of the friendship bracelets at the time, if you recall.
Yes. Oh,
Yes,
man.
right. And the competition between you and Juan, who
Yes.
was my other son for a little while, but you're my son.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
Yeah, so how we met was that I needed help with doing a slide thing in iMovie.
Yes. See, I remember
and
that.
You were doing the workshops.
Yeah. So I was a trainer at Apple on software, and Harvey and we became good buds, and we used to always kick it at work, and just kind of shoot the breeze, obviously do our job, but shoot the breeze. And he always talked about his wife Morgan, how she bakes and how she's just a sweet woman. There was always this story, and it's he really talked her up, and I was like, oh, she sounds like a sweetheart. And then finally one day she came in because she needed help with her computer. So I was the trainer to help her. And when I tell you, it's funny because you have moments in time where so much time passes, but it just seems like one moment. And that was the start of what we are today in terms of just our relationship and our bond. And it was great because, for Morgan, she's always been, one of the champions in my corner, just rooting for me, near or far, but just very sincere, and I think within life in general, it always helps to have sincerity and realness to your tribe or the company that you keep. And, Morgan has just been that for me through and through. And it's just cool. It's just it's one of those things you can't really explain, but you just know, because you know it by feeling versus I don't know. I don't think there's necessarily a blueprint. And Morgan, maybe you could tell me different, but I don't think there's necessarily a blueprint for what's the word I'm looking for just the people that show up. There's no one way they do it. It's just how they make you feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's also, I believe, a chemistry thing.
Yes.
Because there can be people that show up for you and you appreciate them, you like them, but the connection is not really there are not very strong.
Right.
And that's something that you can't see or touch. It's a part of your spirit, your
Yeah.
soul. So the chemistry, our chemistry was great because I have to laugh. I don't think I got too much of a lesson on what I wanted because we started talking about what I wanted to do. And that's why I started encouraging you, because you told me that you wanted to be an actor. And we just went off on a different tangent, and
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yes.
And that was it.
Say that again.
I said that was, we kind of like got off the
Yeah.
track,
Yeah.
went on a different trail, and that was the start of our relationship. And when I finally decided that you were, I tell people, my quasi-adopted son.
Yeah. Quasi adopted.
Yeah. So they could say adopted. I have an adopted daughter, so
Yeah.
they would probably think that you were real. And I don't want to take you away from your mother.
Right.
And I don't want not like me because I have usurped her mom position. So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
but
see, but that's
your family. That's basically what it comes down to.
yeah. You guys have
You
been
have
like
become a part of our family, the part of our family that we love so much up in New York.
yeah.
And
Well, you're originally from New York, right?
yes, I am a New Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker. Yes. Born in the Bronx,
Yeah.
raised in Queens, and then Pops and I moved around a bit after we got married, and then landed in Manhattan for 24 years. It's a nice place to be.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you've seen that place just change over time, and it's
Everything about it, the people even, and not all of it for the better.
yeah.
Pop, he loves to shop, and he's a fashionista.
Yeah.
And one of the trips back up to New York, he said he was very disappointed because he said there's no good fashion. Women are not dressing, nicely to go to work.
Yeah.
And when he would be in that area walking, it's like he remembers what it used to be.
Right.
And what it is now. So he bemoans the fact that people don't really get into dressing properly for work, or what we old-fashioned thought was proper.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember when women could not wear pants
Yeah.
to work or to school. That was the dark ages.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what I realized, and something that I've even thought about recently. I feel like, although time is relative, I feel like there's less time to make time for certain things. So it's like, and even when I was living in New York, I remember I just always felt like mentally I was out of breath because I was always running for a train. Always running to an audition, always running to work. I was always just running. And it gets to the point where it's like you're always in that headspace. So it's like you don't really take the time to do the things because society in itself is running on a whole different timetable. Wow, word, see? And it's like, it's a constant stopwatch. And I think nowadays, one of the things I always say is like, I don't like to use the word busy. That word irks me for some reason because I don't think it has true meaning. And when you say it to someone else, especially someone who, either deems you important or you quote unquote find important, and you tell them you're busy, it's kind of like, well, you don't really matter. That's what I hear when someone says busy. And it's like, but do you understand that this person probably took time out of what they were doing to connect with you, but you're telling them that you're busy. So I try not to use busy because I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. And when you say it to a person, what it can come off as is kind of like, you're not important to me. You're not important to me because everybody's busy. Everybody's doing something. You watch a little kid, they're busy. A kid is busy. A dog is busy. You could be busy doing nothing. Everybody's busy. So what does it really mean? And that's just how I look at it. So like throughout time and even now, I feel like there's just this oversaturation of always having to be doing something. And it doesn't leave time for the things that actually count. Like if Pop said, that, people don't dress like they used to anymore. It's kind of crazy. Like, I feel like everybody's just rushing to get clothes on because they're running late, always running late to something, you know,
Mm.
and it's less of an opportunity to just kind of like take your time, or just be comfortable. I was telling someone to,
It's a comfort
yeah,
is probably more so.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just,
Things have loosened up tremendously since, back in the dark ages when I was, working in the city in the 70s.
yeah.
Oh, God. And then in the 80s. Oh, my God. But I was just a child. I was only 12 when I started working, so.
Really? What was your first job?
Oh, I'm only kidding. I'm just trying to, don't figure out how old I am.
Oh, no, no, no. But what was it? What was your first job? What was your first gig?
My first job, I was a teller at a bank in our little neighborhood where my mother banked at the time, and I was going to school at night, and she wanted me to get a job. So she was there. They knew her for years, so she spoke to the manager, and I worked. We had a drive-through window.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it wasn't an ATM machine. You drove to the window, and there would be somebody there. Hello, that was me.
Word.
It was very interesting. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize it, but the musical director for Fiddler on the Roof lived in the area, and he would come through all the time. And we had a great rapport. He called me Miss Sunshine because, if I'm going to be taking care of a customer, I might hate my job, but it's not the customer's fault that I hate it.
Right.
So that was exciting. As a matter of fact, he even invited me to come and have lunch one Saturday on downtown by the theater district. And I think I was like 18 or 19 at the time. My parents said, "What? No way." And I was really innocent. I really, he seemed like a nice old Jewish dad.
Yeah.
And the thought never even occurred to me. But who knows? I'll never know because I did not meet him for lunch. But I would see him all the time. And I had a following and kids around the corner because I had lollipops, and I would put the lollipop in the drawer that, and send it out to them in the where the cars pull up.
Yeah.
So that was my first job.
Sick.
And, it was not my idea of a good time, but I made the money I needed to do the things I wanted to do, so.
Nice. Well, that's the thing. I think also society has changed too in terms of I think safety and autonomy, but also surveillance, because I used to even, my mom, she used to always say, growing up, and even for me, I think, when I was a kid, we could go and play outside. We weren't really in the house all the time. We could go outside, when the streetlights came on, we went inside, obviously, but there was a little bit, you would think there was a little bit more of a safety thing, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I just think that there were things that were happening back then that are probably still happening now. Huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All those things were, but, which shows how rare it actually is.
Yeah.
But it's only that kind of news that makes it to the media or in a newspaper.
Right.
There was some station that tried to do a good news show, and they got really crappy ratings.
Yeah, we don't want that.
People, they want like the song from the Eagles, that's solo, but anyway, people love it when you lose. They love Dirty Laundry. You ever hear the song Dirty Laundry?
No, but it's true.
Oh, you'll love it. You will love it. But,
you'll love that dark shit, Isaiah. You'll love it.
But it's the same thing. I would ride to the schoolyard, which was about 7 or 8 blocks from where I lived, and meet my friends at the playground. We started walking home from school. We were in a group, though. It was usually at least 3 of us.
Yeah.
By the time I was in 2nd grade.
Wow.
Actually, probably before that, because my neighbor who I grew up with, he was more reckless than me.
Yeah.
We're waiting for either his mother or my mother to come and get us. And they were a couple of minutes late, so we just headed on home ourselves. I think we might have been in kindergarten or 1st grade now that I think about it.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, you can walk yourself home. That's great." And that was it.
That was it.
Gave it when my daughter was growing up, when we lived in Manhattan until she was 10 years old, for the longest time I held her hand, and then when she wanted to walk, I would yell, "Walk where I can see you."
Yeah.
and it was never a couple of feet ahead of me, because that the likelihood of anything happening, very, very slim. But because of the stories that make it, as I said, to the media and what have you, if you do the numbers,
Yeah.
odds are that no one's going to kidnap your kid or do something worse.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you say that, it is kind of, it's a weird thing. I think that society, and maybe this year has changed it, because, so one of the things I've noticed that's pretty interesting is like the stigma or the implication is that you're never supposed to show people that you're sweating, or, no one wants to hear that you're having a bad day. But people, it's funny. Okay, so no one wants to hear about your bad day and your woes, but sometimes people enjoy that you're not winning. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
pretend that you're happy and everything is good when it comes to your personal struggles and your journey, because I don't have time to listen to it. I got my own shit to worry about. But I would love to see your downfall on display, because that keeps me comfortable too. So it's like, I don't want to be accountable, but I want to have access. I don't want to be accountable, but I want to have access. I don't want to be accountable for taking care of you in your down times, but I want to have access to everything that you're doing, especially when you are stumbling along the way.
But stumbling because it makes you feel better about yourself, or stumbling because you want to be there to help?
Well, I feel like sometimes, that's the thing about access. It's like, all right, even with social media, it's like, it's kind of like peeking into a window, seeing what people are doing, but not really being involved in their lives. And it's like, sometimes I think that's enough for people, or sometimes I think that's, like you said, the news, people feed off of, or the news has realized that the chaos is what draws people in. The destruction is what draws people in. The mishaps, the discord is what people look forward to seeing on the news. People don't want to really see happy stories. They don't give a shit about that. It's just weird when you like sit down and think about how we move, It's trippy.
Yeah. Yes. And it's unfortunate, which is why I think I've said this to you before, that, your world, your circle, gets small, because you have just that few people that are in the same mindset, or the same amount of caring and empathy.
Yeah.
So that you're sharing the joys. They're the best.
Yeah.
Because if you really care about them and they're happy, you can't help but be happy and be happy for them.
Yeah.
And when it's not going well, you want to do whatever you can to help them get through it.
Yes.
So, and there aren't that many people that'll be walking through your life that fall into that category, which is why your circle gets a bit smaller. I mean, you have to have a lot of friends, acquaintances.
Yeah.
But the special few that you share your life with, that come over to hang with you, and you don't have to entertain them.
Yeah.
Those are special ones. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's the people, like I said, and I think I talked to you about this before. It's like the people you want to share good news with first, and it's not about the good news. It's never about the good news, the literal good news. It's just simply about, these are the people that I could trust with my process. These are the people that I know that have been there for me, and we've been there for each other to some capacity when things were not going well, and they were genuinely there for me, So now that I have something accomplished, these are the people I want to share that space with. And for me, it's like, I think about that all the time. And I know I slipped up recently with one of the things I forgot, but I tell you.
I probably was a little thin-skinned on that one. You more than made up for it.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I went through this whole narrative in my head and I didn't communicate out loud. But one of the things I always think about is like whenever I book a gig or whenever something crazy happens, I go through a checkbox in my head mentally of like, all right, these are the people I got to tell first. And that's how I move. That's how I move, because it's kind of like automatic at this point. It's like, all right, where can I go, or where do I go to just be like, hey, this is the space I want to share with you because I know it's going to be taken care of. And like you said, it's few and far between. And, even recently it's kind of been interesting to observe. But one of the things I continuously learn is like to let people be where they want to be in your life. And I think, what I mean by that is like, how people choose to show up for you. Observe that and invest in that, whether it's like people are they rather be on the sidelines or rather be on the outskirts in your life, or the people that are like hands on and like, hey, what's going on? I want to know what's been happening, good, bad, or indifferent. And you do that for me. Like you were one of those people for me. And I've told you a million times, it's like you want to know what's going on one way or another. It doesn't matter when only, hey, I just want to know when the good news is there. You want to know the ins and outs. And that's a big deal, for me. For someone like me personally, that's a huge deal. And it's something that I've like, carried with me and I use that as a barometer. And like I've told you guys, or I don't think I said it before, but like everyone I've interviewed so far on this podcast, they've all been people I haven't seen in quite some time in person. But very much so people that I'm connected to on a very like, invaluable level. These are the people I share my space with regularly in some way, shape, or form. These are the people I'm mostly connected to, and they're the furthest away, and that's just what life reminds you of. Is like, your relationships, if they are worth something, they will withstand time and distance. It just requires effort,
Yeah. Yeah. And it should actually, when you say effort, but
yeah.
I don't see it as effort, as this is like when you care that much about that person,
Yeah.
you stay in touch one way or another, and it doesn't have to be every week or sometimes a month or two to go by. And it's never, I called you, now it's your turn to call me.
Yeah.
None of that. Just something that comes as natural as breathing.
Right.
And that's why those are the real relationships that it's like you're not saying, oh, I better call so-and-so because I know that this is what's expected of me at the moment. So
Yeah.
I want to, no. It's just, it pops into your head. You say, I want to speak to that person for whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or otherwise. Yeah, and there are when you do the inventory, there aren't that many. I know that you've got some great people supporting you because I love the positive comments when you posted about the movie, that Blind Side.
Yeah.
And how truly happy and excited everybody that you're friends with on Instagram was there. It speaks to who you are also, Isaiah. I would say, quote the Beatles, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
Oh, I appreciate that. I try. I think it's funny, as far as Instagram and, I'm going to be real with you. This is complete sincerity. Like this is complete transparency. Again, everyone is around for the celebration. You'll have more people at your party celebrating, but very much you won't have a lot of people helping you to set up for the party, if you know what I'm saying. In other words, I appreciate the love. I definitely appreciate the love. But the one thing I'm paying attention to is like, who was loving on me when before I posted this?
Yeah.
And again, it's all cool. It's cool that, there are people that are happy for you, but it's like, there's a thing of like, again, like we say, access versus somebody who's just like authentically there. Because whether or not I posted that, you, my sister, a couple of my friends, you guys have been like, you've had your eye on me throughout this entire time and been very supportive and congratulatory of me, regardless of whether I posted that or not. So that's something that I pay attention to, because the thing of the matter is like, everybody wants to know you when you're winning. Everybody wants to know you and be a part of your wins. Everybody wants. Who doesn't want to be a part of your success? And sometimes people don't want to clap when you're winning because there's a little envy there for whatever reason. But overall, it's like everybody supports you. Everybody knew you could do it all along once you've already done it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's where you've got that small inner circle, but you do have other friends.
Yes.
Just don't fall, and the ones that you may not have access to all the time.
Yeah.
But they are truly happy for you.
Yeah.
And will it be nice when you get nominated for your Emmy or your Oscar?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one of my good buds.
Yeah.
We hang out all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but there are people that will be there for you no matter what. And you're right, and it can't be a whole bunch of people, because that's a lot.
Yeah.
That puts that whole relationship together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of components. And as far as, like saying I'm busy,
Yeah.
there are times, like you need, there's another way to say it. Like I am right in the middle of doing whatever it is, let me call you right back.
Exactly.
I'll call you back in 2 minutes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's been many times where, I've been in the middle of doing something, but it's not important. It's like in the middle of my baking.
Yeah. Baking's important.
And I'll get a phone call from somebody, and they've got questions, and need help, whatever, and I take care of it. Because after I hang up the phone, I say, oh, good, Morgan. Now you have just lost a half an hour of time you couldn't spare. But
yeah.
I don't think about it at the moment.
Yeah.
If it's something that's special to me, it's just what you do.
Yeah.
And that's what you're all about also.
I try.
Because you are a sensitive person and a thinker. You are a thinker.
Yeah, sometimes it gets me in trouble. It's It really does, because it's funny. Like, I'll think about something, and it's not in the sense of, sometimes people are like, yeah, don't judge me. I'm like, I'm not judging you. I'm just assessing. And literally, it's like, there's no judgment there. It's just me trying to process what's going on. What's the information I'm receiving?
What you're observing.
Yes. Yeah. And just like really kind of feeling things out, because a lot of times, and what I've noticed, and I think out here too, through my experiences, like there's not always, and this is the reality. And I think this is how you learn through life. And Mom Morris, you could tell me if I'm wrong or not, but the way you learn your circle, or the way you learn yourself, is what I'm saying matching up with what I'm doing, or is there some kind of incongruency? And is what they are saying to me, does it match up with how I feel around them? And if I don't feel what they're saying, is there a reason for that? Is it my own stuff, or is it something that's just not adding up with what they're doing? And I talked to you about this years ago, because I think one of the things with me, I was like, I want to get to a point where this stops, where you don't have to continuously kind of just sort through or sift through someone's bag of words versus their mode of action or lack thereof. But I think you told me specifically, is like, that it's a continuation. That's what life is. It's a part of growing, and it's a part of, just realizing everybody is an individual. And that's just what life is. I think in a weird way, it's painful, but I think it's also the beauty and discovery of those relationships, and it allows you to appreciate the people, like you said, that are just there. Yeah, it's
and of course it drives Sasha crazy, because everything is a song to me. But Billy Joel song comes to me with people coming in and out of your life.
Yeah.
Some will last, some will just be now and then.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And the bottom, when you get down to it, You can count on your one hand.
Yeah.
If you've got 5 really good friends that fall into that category, you're rich beyond means.
Amen. Yeah.
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 Yeah, you could be fortunate and have more than that, because it is possible
Yeah.
to just be that kind of person that, it's like when they say birds of a feather.
Yes.
It really is true. You do find your own level also. And that's why when you turn around and take an inventory of the people in your life, you got a nice bunch of people in your life.
Yeah, I do.
That's what you draw. You love magnets. It's a magnet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Well, you've been a magnet for me throughout these last like very pivotal years. You've definitely been a magnet and a compass for me in terms of just like, how am I doing in terms of life? How is my moral code set up? And like you said, what you attract is what you are. And I think in essence, everybody is, you're inherently good. I kind of like to believe that.
Me too. I'm
Yeah.
always looking for the good in people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are some that you can't find any. There's one that immediately pops into my mind. It is no good. You're not going to go there.
Yes, I think
My blood pressure's down.
I think it's like I like to think that, and one thing I've learned is like if someone is truly good, they wear it. You do not have to dig that deep for someone who has the good intentions for you. You don't have to constantly bypass how someone is treating you if they are showing up with good first. If that's what their operative is, you don't have to look. So, yeah, I just think, I don't know. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I think everybody's inherently good. But one of the things I learned too is like, look, you don't have to spend your time searching. Because if you have to search for the good in someone, that means that you had to look past a lot of shit.
You have to, this is what I say, you have to look past why are they holding back.
Yeah.
So I think you see it as a matter of protection,
Yeah.
a sense of self, feeling safe. So the ones that are right out there and are good, and you see it instantly, they're content with who they are. They know who they are, and they're secure
Yeah.
with who they are.
Yeah.
So, and the ones that aren't can be extremely good, but they've got to really know that they're safe
Yeah.
before you get to see it. So.
Well,
But not us, Isaiah. We've been out there from day one.
just day
We wear our
one.
hearts on our sleeves, and it'll never change, and that's okay with me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I will say like I said, you've been a magnet for me, and you've been someone that I can like just rely on and chat with in one way or another. But like, I always know that you're there, and that means the world to me because it's like, again, it's the constants in life, it's the constants that we have and that we, that keep us with that reminder of like, you are who you are because it's necessary. You being who you are is this relationship is a result of that. So when all else fails, this is what you have to focus on. This is your compass. So thank you for being a compass for me. And I'm sure to a lot of other people. But yeah, speaking for me personally, you've been solid in my life, Mama Morgan. And yeah, like guys, like I said, this is one of the people in my life that are like, they fill me up and definitely fill me up. And it's a blessing.
You're filling me up. I thank you. As a matter of fact, if we were doing this on video, you would see why my cheeks are starting to hurt from smiling so much. It's just, I love you. And
Yeah.
it makes me feel good to know that there's some stuff that you've been able to get from this relationship that it's all part of
Yes.
what we are and who we are to each other. And what can I say? I think you're terrific. Keep on going. I will still wait for you to get down here because this time when I'm walking thinking, Isaiah was here now. Oh, he
Yeah.
would love this. And yeah,
Oh,
I know. It's a question of timing, and let's get rid of the COVID. But
yeah.
yes,
Let's do
I'm
that.
going to get you down one way or another.
Yes, I'm like I said, I keep my word. I do my best to keep my word, and trust me, you have my word that I will be there to hang in hot ass Florida,
Right.
just for you
Well,
though.
we could be at the beach, and then we could be inside, and we could cook and bake and grill outside, and
I'm here for it.
just eat our way through the visit.
That sounds like a perfect plan. I'm here for that.
And I think I told you, but I bought an ice cream machine.
Oh,
I've made
geez.
ice cream twice already.
What kind?
Yeah. Oh, well, I did it for Sasha because Pop at the time was doing Cheeto, which he's not anymore. So I made a chocolate ice cream.
Of course, you
But
made chocolate.
I prefer, I like stuff in it or a mix. So they had straight chocolate. I put in chopped up almonds and little marshmallows into mine.
So like Rocky Road.
But it was like, the thing is, it's homemade.
Yeah.
So the quality of the ingredients are there. The two of them, I wish I could have recorded them. I don't even have a chance to put into the email. They've already tagged it. I'm hearing,
Sounds amazing.
We'll make any. And I know chocolate is not one of your favorite flavors. We'll do something that you like. So.
Vanilla.
Yeah. Well, that's my favorite aspect. They like the most interesting, complex people, vanilla people.
Oh, really?
Even though they say yes, like you say, oh, it's so vanilla.
Yeah.
Well, hello. Yeah. No. Survey says.
What?
They are. Yes, indeed. You can look it up.
Yeah. You can't give me that kind of power because it's like, that's dangerous for me to have and know of.
No, it's all right. You can do that. Like when I am getting washed up at night, and I've got this huge bathroom with these sliding marble floors, and I'm playing my music, and I dance all over, and I sing, and I'm like out there.
Yeah.
So you can bask and and strut. That's okay when you're by yourself.
Yes, with vanilla ice cream. I'm here for that. Well, Mom Morgans, thank you for being, like I said, being a light in my life. And thank you for sitting down with me today and sharing yourself with all the listeners. And, listeners, I hope you guys got something from this. And I hope you guys have a very good eye in terms of what it means to have good people in your life, what they look like, what they feel like, and how they show up. And hopefully you're doing that for others too. But like Mama Morgan's one of mine. So, just take what you need.
Well, thank you. This was fun, Isaiah. It was truly a unique experience for me, and I really was very flattered that you wanted to include me in one of your podcasts.
Duh.
I had a great time.
Yes.
I had a good leader.
Good. Well,
okay.
Well, guys, I hope
love
you.
you.
I love you too, Mama Morgs. Guys, have an amazing rest of the holiday, whatever that looks like. Take your time and just be you. Just be you, do you, and appreciate the people that you have in your life that are doing that with you. So yeah, with that being said, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I love you guys. Take flight.